friends, neighbors, infidels of all denominations.
No.
Time for Bingo is Life. That's a Thomas Jefferson quote. Thomas Jefferson, he was on Mount Rushmore. All right, we got a huge crew in here tonight as opposed to last week. To my left, still on the right side of the dirt, the two Hattie Shale brothers, Chris and Mike. Not in the silent Erin chair. We have a non-silent Erin.
Not today.
Yeah. Dan Easley.
I'm Dan Easley.
He's still Dan Easley. Over here, this looks like this might be the AI version of Christian Perritt sitting over here.
Yes.
Back
Word
again.
Oh,
We have Leanne. I already forgot Leanne's last name, even though we've known each other since 1973.
Shepherd.
Leanne Shepherd. And Rachel Austin, the one and only.
I'm Dan Easley.
Wow, welcome.
Oh, no. I'm so confused.
And who are you?
But what shall I do?
I'm Jay there. I was this morning. I might still be.
Wow.
So this is a record. This is a record.
This is the most
Somebody
we've
told
ever
me that
had.
somebody won $150, but I hear that's just an urban legend.
No. But if anyone who wasn't here, which is everyone in the internet,
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about? 150?
tonight, the last game was someone rolled the ball. If they get a strike, they get 150. It was a young girl named Carolina.
Oh, you're talking.
Angelique or something?
Angelina.
Yeah.
Angelina. Thank you. You remember the name.
Yeah.
Good.
We did
So,
together.
so
Yeah.
Angelina rolls, and it went right down the middle. And even my son looked at me and goes, "That's going down!" And like 9 pins went down. It was a beautiful sight. And it almost, the 10th almost went. And I was ready to walk over and get her a check, and her family was behind her. It was a beautiful thing. She had 1 pin left. I said, I'll give you a free pizza if you hit that pin. And she totally nailed 1 pin, which is extremely challenging.
I can't believe that happened.
I can't either.
It was better than the Olympics.
It was like watching Simone. It had some like homegrown Simone feelings. I was
Homegrown Simone.
And the young man who won What's in a Box is a future musical star from Harrisonburg. I believe his name is Abram.
Yes, and he won the Love Package.
He's the kid that busks on the street, sings all those old-time country
I'm
songs.
pretty sure in the Love Package there was some moisturizer and soap.
And soap. Yeah.
Now,
So
now,
Just
dear,
clarify, so
dear,
in the love package was
Yes.
moisturizer and soap.
yeah, it's
Okay,
love.
just wanted to clarify.
It's called loving yourself, Christian. It's called loving yourself.
Self-care.
now, dear listener, if you're just joining us, we should let you know that we are somewhat tangentially discussing Bingo is Life, the game that occurs every Tuesday evening at 7:30 at Ruby's Arcade, which is the sponsor of the podcast you're listening to.
Hey Dan, thanks for bringing it all back home.
Give
Yeah,
us
buddy.
a shout out to Mumshackles, Erin.
Oh, yeah. Mumshackles, we're thinking of you. Hope you're doing well.
Yes. Thank you for inviting 300 people to this.
This whole
here, by
podcast
the
has
way.
been mumshackled.
She's recuperating nicely, I've been told.
She's fine. She has her cats.
She has
She's
her
good.
cats.
She's good.
I think she has Dan's cats too, right?
Cats and paint
No, she
meds.
gave them back, but
She
she
gave
was.
them
I was.
back.
I was out of town last week, and she
she watched your
quite
cat?
graciously watched my cats and made sure they were fed and watered and had some. They have not returned to any sort of feral state while I was away, so I'm grateful to her for that. Especially since one of them is 22 pounds, and if he went feral, I wouldn't have a face anymore. Just a bloodied mass draped off the front of my skull.
Different from what you have now?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Rachel Austin over there. What's up, Rachel?
Yeah,
How you
I miss
doing?
Britney.
I'm doing all right.
Hey, it's great to have you back.
Yeah, right?
You
So
were
quickly.
just here.
Yeah, right? It's like I'm cheating.
So I had a friend of mine go, man, I really liked that interview with Rachel Austin.
Rachel Austin.
Yes.
the
.com.
Rachel
Rachel Austin.
Rachel.
Rachel. No, his name was Matt. And well, we know lots of Matts, but this particular Matt was like, it was very interesting, and he sounds nothing like that at all.
He's
Rubbing his beard.
He's
Very
Liverpudlian.
interesting.
Apparently.
As we said earlier, we represent each one of Britney's different personalities.
And what personality are you representing, Leanne?
Ooh.
oh man, like anal retentive. I think the logistics side, right? Like
The logistics side.
the movement where she wants everything to go certain ways side of it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like it.
Wow.
And the last time you were on our podcast was with JP.
And
That's right.
And you guys were talking about your
Shrek, the
Yes,
musical.
Shrek.
That's right.
And that and then that's already happened.
That happened. It did. It
That
was
happened.
February. It was great.
Wow.
We
And
had sold out performances.
are you
All 5 performances were sold out.
unbelievable.
Probably,
Filled
probably
all
because
of-
she was on this podcast.
Yeah. We help. Are you still
right.
doing Lion King?
We are. Auditions for The Lion King will be in mid-October, and the show it'll be a 10-show run.
What?
One of the longest show runs
Oh my gosh.
that I've ever participated in. And so, yeah, 10 shows. We anticipate, since we sold out of 5, we anticipate a lot.
10 shows. That's amazing.
10
And-
shows.
Is that
and
like 3
Aaron,
weekends?
I just want to throw it out there.
2
Aaron,
weekends.
2 weekends. Oh.
the last time you were on here, you were silent.
I know it's very rare, but it did happen.
And what personality do you reflect of Mumshackles?
Ooh, I don't know. I kind of feel a little swamp haggy.
Hey, back.
So, there's that.
Which one of you represents the personality of Mumshackles that talks Jay's hair down from the cell phone tower at 2:30 in the morning?
That's Christian.
For sure.
Hello,
For
Christian.
sure.
I kind of think I would go off of Leanne's. I think the Mumshackles aspect that I represent is going off of her suggestion of like the anal retentive part, but I'm just the anal part. So Mumshackles anus is what I represent.
And I'm sure she appreciates that.
Absolutely.
Fascinating place.
I'm here to represent Mumshackles' pristine, bleached, prepared, scented anus.
Been a
She puts
fiber,
a lot of
Britney.
time into that every single morning with balms
I
and
see it.
salves
Get that
and
fiber.
sprays.
Thanks
Once,
for.
And
once
lights.
again,
I'm
once
not
again,
done yet.
we'd like to
And-
thank our sponsor.
Do you still have sponsors?
Oh, you think we have a sponsor?
No, not really.
And now it's time for another unexpected notion with Dan Easley.
Thank you, Jay. The only countries in the world not using the metric system are Myanmar, Liberia, and the United States. Wait, I thought this was supposed to be funny. At 5'11", I'm Dan Easley.
That
Thank you.
was an unexpected notion from Dan Easley.
5'11" with shoes on, or
Face or no face?
It really just depends on the weather, the gravitational pull of the moon.
We have some clarinet players here, right?
Yes. What is the? What, I don't understand. Give us the clarinet setup first of all.
the setup? What do you mean?
Well, I
How's
heard we
it
were gonna
work? What's it do?
I
What's
saw
the
a
question?
I saw a
There was a
what-
clarinet here on the
There
table.
is.
Whoa, that looks like a
You right now currently there is a clarinet in front of us.
that looks like a John Philip Sousa
This
era.
is kind of specific, yes. So this is turn of the century. It's a full metal clarinet, and what would be considered a parade clarinet.
Turn of the
because-
last century, by the
Turn
way.
of- not this one.
Oh, yeah,
last
yeah.
one.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, it would have been considered a parade clarinet because it's full metal. And instead of most clarinets are made out of wood and specific types of wood, this would have been able to be
Grenadilla.
outside.
What is this mouth? What
By
is
the way,
this made out of?
Full
That's
Metal Clarinet is Stanley Kubrick's best film, I think.
Yeah.
It's kind of tarnished.
Oh yeah,
It looks like it's been well used.
it's very old.
And the mouthpiece.
I mean,
Can you
not
talk about
counting
that?
tuba wide.
You're also a clarinetist,
Shut.
Yeah, clarinet's my principal instrument.
and you're clarinet.
Yep.
But okay, we have a clarinet quiz.
Okay.
3 questions.
Okay.
Now, you cannot shut out the answer, or we will tie you down and make you listen to Buck Gooder CDs.
Oh, God.
Playing the clarinet.
Just like
Yeah.
Clockwork Orange, Stanley Kubrick's
Yikes.
second best movie.
Clarinet covers of Buck Cooter.
All right.
That's just the way it's done in Harrisonburg.
Yeah.
I don't know, just want to say
Very
that one of
edgy.
the best shows I've ever had was recently, 2 years ago. I saw Buck Gooder as just Billy these days,
Yeah.
and we had a blast.
That was an affectionate
Okay, good.
homage.
Yeah, just want,
I could have said Dan Easley. And then Automatic
You don't want
Sweethearts.
that, man. No.
All right, here we go. Around 1700, Nuremberg instrument maker Johann Christoph Denner created the Baroque clarinet by modifying what folk instrument? 1. The panpipe. 2. The chalumeau. 3. The kazoo.
Oh, it does look kazoo-ish.
Chalumeau is a
yeah.
register on the clarinet.
Oh,
I believe
What does
it's
that
the
mean?
chalumeau.
What's a register? Somebody said
So-
register.
Oh.
Aaron, you want to
Register
go
is
for it?
here. Register is here.
Okay, so you've got like the low end, the mid range, and then the high, and the chalumeau is. I can't remember if it's the middle or the low.
It's the low.
It's
It's
the low.
probably middle.
Okay.
It's like Timothy Chalamet, right? Timothy Chalamet.
He's just a baby. I don't know who he is.
We're ready for the answer? And the answer is yes, the chalumeau. And I didn't cover this, but he did modify it to increase the range, so it had two different separate distinct ranges.
Well, do you know what
Registers.
the clarinet was before it was a clarinet?
You tell me.
It was a basset horn.
A basset horn.
Yes, it can.
Not to be confused with the basset hound.
Yeah.
I thought
Oh,
you were-
totally
yeah.
confuse it.
Similar.
That'd be awesome.
I thought you were going to say basketball. I was like, whoa. How is that
I
possible?
don't think it'd be uncomfortable for the dog.
basketball.
In fact,
Wilt
Mozart's
Chamberlain
clarinet concerto
played it.
was Mozart's clarinet concerto was written for basset horn, so it actually goes a little bit lower than an actual clarinet.
All right.
Chalumeau
Aren't you glad
was
you know
Stanley
this?
Kubrick's best film.
Yes. Question number 2.
Hold on. Timothy Chalamet was in.
He was the best James Bond.
He was in Bone.
This was probably an easy one.
Like
so
we've
don't
never
shut
even
out
heard
the answer
that
till we're done.
pun
here.
before.
Okay, this clarinet player known as the king of this clarinet player known as the king of swing was one of the first big name white band leaders to include black musicians, famously playing in a historic integrated concert at Carnegie Hall in 1938 featuring Count Basie and Lionel
Wow,
Hampton.
they immediately
We
started
know
nodding
who
their
Was it
heads.
number 1, Artie Shaw? Number 2, Benny Goodman?
Yes.
Number 3, John Thomas Jack Osborne, the father of British rock star Ozzy Osbourne.
I do love a good Ozzy, but
It was Benny.
But after he culturally appropriated everything he was doing, right? But yeah, he's great. I love Benny Goodman.
it don't mean a thing if you ain't got that.
Swang.
He was the child of Russian immigrant Jews from Russia. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
We're everywhere.
The show is headed downhill.
Hey,
Are you kidding me?
That's
I've
not
learned so
headed
much
downhill.
this season.
Despite being an appropriator, I hear he was a good man. Yeah, I hear he was a good man.
Yeah.
He was Jewish.
All right.
There you go.
Last question.
Benny.
Ta-dum.
Benny.
Which of these rock songs does not have clarinet in it? Sly and the Family Stones' 1968 hit "Dance to the Music."
It's not even a rock song, man.
Well, come on. Pop song then. The Beatles' "When I'm 64" from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, or "Breakfast in America," the title song from the Supertramp album of the same name from 1979.
Oh,
The first one.
Yeah,
The first thing you said.
the first.
Sly.
That's a trick question. They all three had clarinet on.
What?
According to Wikipedia, but that would have been a good guess. Sly and the Family Stone. I didn't listen to it.
The mediator should be disqualified for that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
take a long way.
Yeah.
Take a long way. Oh,
That's it. That's it.
yeah.
Another unexpected notion.
Well, no, that worked fine, man.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was really
Thank
good.
you.
Thanks, Jay.
Does anybody else here play an instrument
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
besides like the obvious ones we know? Christian.
I played saxophone for 7
Yeah.
years in public school. That's
There you go.
similar to clarinet.
It
Yeah.
is
Except the-
similar,
Reed
actually.
instrument, sure.
Upper register's the same.
The thumb key jumps up an octave. What does the
That's the
thumb
same.
key do in a clarinet? Is
Same
it
thing.
is it an octave?
Yeah. So we call it the break. So everything below the break is kind of these. So the way the clarinet works is you cover these little holes here. Put your thumb down here, cover all these holes, and the more holes you cover, the lower you're going to go.
Oh, sure.
Unless you hit this break key on the back, and then the higher. You're going to uncover less to go higher, uncover more to go lower.
And you better
Okay.
push that air through or you're going to.
So-
You're shortening and lengthening the column of air that's vibrating within that, aren't you?
Yeah, it's the air that goes all the way through the instrument. What's vibrating is the reed at the top. So there's a bamboo reed.
Right. That's causing the air to vibrate.
Where does the spit go?
Out.
Everywhere.
Does it really?
It
Yeah.
Some people have a little bit more condensation than others when they play, and
They're a little wetter.
I tend to be one of those people. So after a while, you kind of get a little gurgling in your keys sometimes.
Gurgling in the keys.
And there are little ways to sort of combat that. Sometimes you pick up the instrument and you kind of like blow into the hole, or they've got these little papers that look like little cigarette papers. I don't think that's what they are, but that's what they look like. And you put it between the pad and the hole, and you clamp down on it, and that's supposed to sop up some of the condensate.
There's a whole swab that goes through.
It doesn't work
And
at
it
all,
prevents
actually.
gurgling in the keys. Gurgling in the keys.
Indeed.
We shall clean the spit up and gurgling in the keys.
That's one of Britney's personalities right there, everyone.
That really is.
Oh yeah.
Hey, so Rachel,
Creating lyrics.
I have a question for you.
What's that?
Have you ever played a woodwind or a brass instrument?
Besides, no, I haven't.
No,
I haven't.
But
Wait,
okay.
besides what? What'd you
Besides like flutes I've bought at 10,000 Villages that are really out of tune.
Yeah,
That you have to,
kazoo. I
like-
played the kazoo.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that a woodwind?
Yeah,
It
sure.
counts, right? It's a brass. It's a brassy woodwind.
Yeah,
Membranophone?
yeah, sure. What is
I
the
learned
little
to play
piece of
the nose harp. Is that what it's called? The nose
Whoa.
from Mr. Rogers.
That's you are one of her
You
personalities.
really are. This is fantastic.
I'm glad all of her is here this
Yeah,
evening.
I know. Mumshackles, it's like you're here. I hope she hears this.
Has
tomorrow.
anybody here played in a marching band?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I spent 5 years in the JMU marching band.
No, the JMU.
Marched in the Macy's Day Parade, all 77 blocks. Wow. Yeah.
What was that like?
Crazy. So, Macy's Day Parade is, we all know it, right?
Yeah.
And you see so many marching bands, and it's not just marching. You literally run for 77 blocks.
Oh my God.
So it is extremely fast paced. You start at 4 a.m. where there's a setup, warm up, which is not warm because it's Thanksgiving in New York. And you line up at 4 a.m. and then you just stand there because they want the whole parade route lined up, and it takes time for everybody. And the JMU marching band is 500, 600 people. And so it takes time. It takes all sorts of logistics to get people in line in general. And when we marched in the Macy's Day Parade, we were behind Shrek's ass. Yep. Yeah, it's
So-
great.
And so do you just like slow down when you get to the area where they're filming?
No, you don't slow down. You don't stop moving.
The's no like, okay, now you're about to go on.
Are you playing a song the whole time? Is it
Yeah.
the same song over and over?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it? What'd you
No,
play?
not the same
We
one.
played. You ready? It
Yeah.
don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing. That's true.
We've come full circle.
It sounds like
Yeah.
some sort of Twilight Zone punishment.
Yeah, so, and especially like we left on a Tuesday, got everybody up to New York City, and they were like, go to bed immediately. And we're like, okay. Had a day in New York, and they're like, go to bed immediately. Because at 4 a.m., like you're waking up at 2, getting in your uniform, and marching band uniforms are not just like, oh, let me casually put a marching band uniform on. It's full wool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like layers and layers of stuff, and a hat, and a big feathery thing, and like all this stuff. And then you just stand there. And then they're like, all right, go. And you're like, go, and then you run. And then you run for 77 blocks.
And play.
And play. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the color guard's there, and they just spin flags for
It
it.
just sounds like Thanksgiving trauma.
Yeah. So then they do a picture at the end, and there's one official Macy's Day Parade marching band photographer, and they line up all the marching band, like every marching band gets this official picture of being in the Macy's Day Parade, and we're in New York City, and we're lining up, and there's this Asian guy in front of us, and the photographer goes, "Hey, Mr. Correa, get out of the way!"
Oh my God.
And that's my story from Macy's Day.
Wow, New York, New York.
New York, New York.
Hey, Mr. Corritt. And that photographer's name? Mike Howdy.
Wait, but Rachel, weren't you a photographer in New York for a while?
Oh yes, Donick. No, I wasn't.
No. You were.
That
you
was
were-
me. You
hold
got
on.
me.
This could be interesting. What year were you in the Macy's Day Parade in New York?
2011?
2011.
I believe.
And what year were
I
you?
wasn't there
Oh,
then,
you
no.
weren't there. I thought it would be interesting if we had a crossover.
No, not quite.
There.
I was in the Christmas parade in Harrisonburg
That same year?
wearing vintage wool. No, 93, 94, sometime around there. It smelled
Yeah.
like a sheep.
So the JMU marching band switched uniforms when I was in my second senior year, because that's what I did with my life.
Yeah.
So they switched it. The previous uniform had been used since 1984-ish.
Yeah, I think
And we
that's-
switched in
yeah.
2012,
Yeah, that's
2010,
Wow.
something like
the
that.
impression I got with the Turner Ashby High School
Yeah.
marching uniform.
Where you can see the smell.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It was, and I was in a group that was in charge of handing out the uniforms, and you would just kind of do your best to size up what you're like. I don't know. You look like I don't know, Danny last year. Here you go.
Yeah.
The guy who had bed bugs.
You're like, oh man, we got a real Fred coming in. Here we go.
That's funny. Oh God.
What's your craziest New York musical story, Rachel Austin?
Oh, I need to think about that. My own personal?
People throwing bottles at you while you performed.
No.
Jesus coming back during the encore.
Yeah,
You've
that happened,
been to New York.
actually. Yeah. 2018. A lot of people didn't realize it. Yeah, they thought it was, I don't know. I don't know what they thought it was.
Lee Iacocca?
All right, I guess I derailed the show. Second time.
What's a fun clarinet fact? What's your favorite thing about the clarinet?
Oh.
I think the Chalumeau is kind of interesting. But
Well, I think it's pretty versatile. So I grew up playing in orchestras, and I did the marching band thing for a while, and then I stopped playing for about 26 years. Oh. And then actually just a couple years ago, I picked it up because my husband and I have this little musical thing that we're working on, and I thought, well, maybe I could. It's got a name. Maybe. What's
Called Hero in the Muse.
Oh yeah, that's our
Dave
band
Abbott.
name.
All right, there you go.
We actually have a show at Friendly Fermenter October 12th. But anyway,
Plug away.
yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. But yeah, show up. But I've decided that maybe I can learn some bass lines on it, and maybe I could do just anything that's not classical or orchestral. I just kind of want to just kind of make my own sound with it. So I've been trying to work on little effects, and just overall weird stuff.
You had a career. You were going towards a career in being a clarinet player, right?
Yeah, the first time I was in college. And
I get that.
And then that stopped, and I kind of, struggled through life a little bit.
As most clarinet players do.
Yeah. And then just one day I went into my closet, I pulled it out. I was like, well, let me just kind of mess around with this. And then my husband Dave was downstairs. He's like, is that a clarinet you're playing? And I'm like, well, sort of. And then it didn't really take too long to work my chops back up. I mean, I'm still working on that, but it's come back. And I'm kind of surprised at how quickly it did. I just didn't forget it. It's
Muscle memory.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm actually having fun with it now. It's not some project that I'm forced into. There's none of the weird psychological stuff that comes with playing music as a young person.
a concert musician.
Being a concert musician,
Yeah, so
and the pressure.
It's totally on
Absolute
my
pressure.
terms now, and so I'm having a blast with it and just seeing where I can go with it.
Can you play jazz?
That's what I would prefer to do. So
You have the chops for that? That would be fantastic.
I've done some jazz. It's great. Jazz clarinet's fun.
So it's just like tons of arpeggios?
Yeah,
Or is that
yeah.
Okay,
Scale stuff.
yeah.
A lot of scale stuff.
okay?
Can you play in all keys, or is there certain keys that are
oh
better?
yeah,
Clarinet's so its key is B flat, but you can absolutely transpose anything.
yeah. So if you're playing in the key of B flat, we'd be playing in the key of C.
Yep.
You go up a step.
It's a real
music.
religious experience. Yeah. Yeah. Just doesn't
Yeah,
make
that
sense.
one's easy.
It's bebop.
We'll discuss transposition and the tempering of the scale in a later episode.
I tell you what, I'd like to do, just because we've got about 4 minutes left.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to go around to see if anyone has anything they want to plug for themselves.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Maybe I'll start to the left and then I'll finish it up. Why don't you go ahead?
Well, this Friday, Townie Summer, Balefire,
Cool.
Dr. Howe, Reasons to Live. We'll be there. It's going to rain. Debbie's going to be here.
Debbie's coming
Debbie's
in.
gonna be a downer.
Debbie's gonna. So that just means everything's gonna get moved inside. Come anyways. It's a free show. Scantron, the Destroyer, is gonna be playing right before us, and music starts at 8 and goes till 11. So and it's free. It's free. There you go.
All right. And as I said previously, Hero and the Muse has a show at Friendly Fermenter, October 12th. I don't know what time. I'm going to say 7-ish, but, show
Watch
up.
the internet.
We'll be playing with Chris Hansen. He's a musician in town. And it'll be a good time. They have great beer. Just come on out. It's free.
Have a drink.
I have another album coming out in a couple days. I don't know what today's Tuesday, so Thursday. 2 days from when we're recording this. I don't know when you're listening. And
Now.
I'm yeah, well, of course, yeah. Sorry, it's so hard to be present. Yeah, well, I go to the beach with friends every year, and it's a lovely time. And it's sort of like the family reunion, but we picked one another, and so last year we recorded ourselves playing the requests. People, we had like 18 people in the beach house, and those who weren't playing tunes requested tunes of us. And so that's the recording from last year is coming out in a couple of days, and we're doing a bunch of silly pop music covers. We're doing Man Eater by Hall & Oates, and Run Through the Jungle by CCR, and Just the Two of Us by Bill Withers, I Need You Tonight by NXS, and White Lines Don't Do It by Grandmaster Flash and Melly Mel. So, in a couple of days, you can hear us butchering those tunes. I'm really excited about it. It's just great fun, a really joyful experience, and really awesome to have that document of that lovely time with some of my best friends.
Cool.
New music. Hold on. I got one other thing about like when you birth a new album or whatever you want to call it. So
I just have them cut out these days, man.
the beauty of it is like it is truly you just are taking a piece of your heart and going, here, check it out. Yep. Oh, it's so
I don't have to work on it anymore. I don't have to listen to it. I'm so excited.
yeah, okay. But it's also what's the word I'm looking for? I'm just thinking
Kind of vulnerable.
vulnerable. Thank you. You are so vulnerable
Yeah.
when you put out a new album and new music.
you're quite right. I couched that in humor, but you're quite right.
It's funny how much like you're like, I don't care if anyone listens to it, but you're like, did anyone listen to it?
Yeah.
Does anyone? I mean, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
So
Like 3 people listened to, were they?
Yeah. What did they think? I wonder what they thought. I hope they liked it.
They
Anyway.
always like the cover art. There's always a couple hundred people click like on the cover art, and then 4 people listen. And that's cool, man.
Very nice.
It's all right.
Well, speaking of the Please Like Me complex, Christian, I think you're up.
I would like to reinforce what Chris said. This coming Friday, we've got a split bill. But I do want to plug the other band, because the other band they kind of had a reputation for claiming they were kind of a joke band. Scantron, the Destroyer. They're all teachers, by the way, so that's why that name is
that
doubly
makes
funny.
sense. Yeah.
It's so good. They are amazing.
Oh, cool.
They're not as good as our band, but
Hold on, one of them, Kate Duffy, is the girlfriend of one of them. Is there somebody in the band named Chris?
I don't know.
There you go.
Maybe.
We are full of good information.
Yeah, there we go.
I sense a Chris in the band.
I sense a Chris. Yeah.
You mean someone
Chris.
in the band is the
There's a Chris in
boyfriend
the
of
band.
Kate
So
Duffy?
come out to
I
that
think.
show. It should be very fun. And what's the word? It's free. It's a free show.
yeah.
Come on out. It should be great.
Well, as I said earlier, we have auditions for Lion King in
Yay.
mid-October. We are the game in town for children's theater. So if you have a kid and they like theater, or think they might like theater, have them come on out. We're going to We're going to have some fun. Act 1 through Arts Council of the Valley at Court Square Theater. It's going to be a rip-roaring good time. Shows will be in February and March, and they are not free.
It's all right. They're worth it. They're worth it.
Totally worth it.
Rachel, what you got?
Well, I have started a space for experimental musicians, artists, performance artists, drag artists, sound artists, filmmakers, etc., to show work and get feedback on it if they want, or get no feedback, just works in progress. And also a workshop space for people to do like an hour workshop to try, just keep your hand in with some kind of performance workshop presented by local facilitators who are like professional at what they're doing, called Performance Lab and Workshop. And our next one is on September 15th. There's an hour workshop, which I'm leading this time, strangely, called What the Voice Wants. And it's just like looking at the emotional relationship with the voice and the body. And then there's 2 hours afterwards where people need to sign up beforehand and they can show works. And it's just, we're trying to build like community for experimental performance in the Shenandoah Valley.
Where is this?
That's in Stanton. That's Soul Art.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, Soul Art. They do so much stuff. There's a lot happening in that.
Yeah.
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 Fantastic.
So you can get a hold of us through Soul Art or Performance Lab.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're part of that.
I will be protesting this Scantron the Destroyer show with the Mennonite Anti-Defamation League because of their song Mennonite Surf Party.
You'll know, Jay, he's the one yelling, "Hey, Mr. Korea, get out of the shot."
I got nothing. I'll be walking around downtown with Tucker, playing pickleball,
Very good.
hanging out with the real cool kids.
Well, since the band show Friday has already been plugged twice, I actually just want to give a shout out to all the folks at Augusta County Public Schools, because tomorrow the kids are back. School starts first day tomorrow. So good luck to everybody out there. Good luck everybody out there, because I know it's always interesting, and yeah.
We still have a week and a half. Yeah.
Nice. Dan.
Thanks again to our sponsors, Ruby's Arcade and the historic downtown Wine Brothers building in downtown Harrisonburg. And thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Reginald P. Witherspoon. Whither goeth the spoon, there goes the nation. I'm Dan Easley.
Yeah. And thank you, Mumshackles. We hope to see you very, very soon.
You've been Mumshackled.
See you next week, kids.
Bingo is Life, a post-bingo Harrisonburg podcast, is brought to you by the Brothers How to Show and our friends at Ruby's Arcade in downtown Harrisonburg, Virginia. If you've enjoyed the show and feel it's worth spreading a little joy in this world, please tell just one person that you like this podcast. Word of mouth, more than any other form of promotion, is how creative works get noticed and sustain themselves. Thank you, Andrew Hickey, for that bit of wisdom, and thank you, listeners, for being part of the fun.